But now our country has been brought to its knees, literally brought to its knees. And who would have thought this could happen? Inflation is the highest in 49 years, 9.1%. And a lot of people think it's much higher than that. Gas prices have reached the highest in the history of our country. We have become a beggar nation, groveling to other countries for energy, affiliation after another on the world stage. And at home, our most basic rights and liberties are totally under siege. The American dream is being torn to shreds, and we will not have a country left if this economic, social, and attack on civilization itself is not quick.
Welcome to the Cryptoteacher. And guys, I come back with that video just to make you think. And we have Trump stating America has been brought to his knees. And we know this is nothing but the Hegelian dialectic, because this all started when Trump was in office. It's just that Biden put the foot on the gas. Remember, the bird needs both wings in order to fly. There's no such thing as Democrats and Republicans. They're on the same page in order to move the NWO's agenda. And we have Kevin O'Leary on Bitcoin, how Bitcoin mining is going to change to clean energy. And I've done several videos on it, and this was all part of the plan. Chris Larsen from Ripple stating that Bitcoin needs to change the code. Kevin O'Leary has an answer for that, and they're pushing this across the globe. As we know, the Fed, the SEC, all of them are pushing ESG, this carbon footprint. The United States dollar as a reserve currency has already been destroyed. We know the NWO works off problem, reaction, solution. And the only solution is cryptocurrencies. It's going to cause deflation along with what? The robots, algorithms, and drones, while the sheep go inside the metaverse. And remember, the crypto teacher told you, because he knows. When it comes to the New World Order, it's all planned out. You have a wonderful day.
Worry about that state control or whatever, but like in this particular narrow use case, you want to give checks to individuals to get the economy moving again.
Yeah.
So if you think of programmable money that expires if you don't spend it.
Yeah.
In the 21st century, we may see the emergence of a new massive class of useless people. People who have absolutely no economic value.
Too, and said we don't want any of that here, and have basically been kicking out the Bitcoin miners because I think they saw that it was hurting their efforts to get the carbon neutral by, I think it is 2050, right?
We know they're going to get into a lot of trouble when they try and prove their neutrality. So the new mining is emerging. It's being funded primarily by sovereign wealth, and here's how it works. You find a country like Norway, or you find a province like Quebec, or upstate New York, or Montana, or North Dakota, where there's excess hydroelectricity. You build a facility right by the turbines. It's a brand new build, and you get an agreement with the miner. I think this is happening right now in northern Norway with a company called Bitrue. It's a private company. I'm an investor in it, so its largest investors out of the United Arab Emirates. Every coin that they're awarded is staying on the balance sheet. So that becomes our proxy to Bitcoin. Now we own our coin. Now we've mined it ethically. Now we've mined it all green. We do not have to be audited for carbon because there's no carbon. It's 100% hydro. And so in doing so, we are not only capturing unused hydroelectricity, we've got the latest state mining equipment, which uses 40% less energy. We're taking the heat from the stacks and creating a hydroponic facility that grows tomatoes and a canning plant beside it, because in northern Norway, there's not that much sun for tomatoes. We're integrated into the community. We are creating a new power source for all the citizens in that 3,000 person village. That is the new mining. So the best way to look at this is we should applaud the early miners that built up capacity here in the United States. But they are essentially the pioneers with the arrows in their back, because the capital is going to move away from them, and it's going to go to the new generation of miner, which is the Norway model, as I call it. We're building these in almost every state here in America that has hydro. We're very fortunate because we have access to the latest technology. a lot of people don't realize this, but it's the sovereign wealth plans in the Middle East that were nascent early on, 25 years ago, to buy capacity of chip manufacturing in many, the global foundries and many of the other Taiwan semiconductors, et cetera. So we have access to those mining chips that we need, and we're going to build these new miners all over the world. It started with BlackRock, then you saw it in the POTUS executive order, then the SEC just announced they're in a memo that they're contemplating carbon audits on public companies. Doesn't matter what, if you're a Bitcoin miner or any company that's in the S&P 500. And here's the problem. Everybody knows, and all of the Bitcoin miners were using carbon offsets. So they would say, we're carbon neutral because we bought all these offsets. The offset market is such a wide range of, call it target error, that it's impossible to audit it. And here's the problem. The SEC order is contemplating getting your audit firm to sign off on your carbon neutrality in the same way they're signing off on your financials. You can't get an auditor to sign that right now. They're never going to do it because everybody knows that tracking error is so wide on carbon offsets. 20% is in crypto. That's the most I can hold.
I was going to ask you, have you reached your 20%? I know you mentioned it last year. Have you reached the 20% threshold?
Last year I was at 7.
7, yeah.
So now I'm at 20, and now we have 32 positions on. It's the most exciting part of my portfolio, the most volatile.
Really?
I mean, it's all over the map every day.
Care to disclose what kind of assets you're holding?
I will. I'll disclose some of them. Part of this came through my relationship with FTX. I'm a shareholder in FTX. As well as a paid spokesperson, I have to disclose that. I love what Sam is building there, and I use my FTX wallet, obviously. But I also own HBAR, I own Polygon. I just put a position on in Polygon after meeting Sandeep. I love his vision of reducing gas fees, particularly for people that can't afford to spend that much on ETH. But he's aggregating transactions and passing them through in one, saving a ton of money. I love that idea. Just got into Helium, also Avalanche, Solana. I'm a big believer in that. I've got 32 aggregate positions. Those are some of the larger positions.
Yeah.
And so I don't know which one's going to win. Nobody knows. But certainly, Ethereum's too slow for me as a financial services guy. So I'm hoping that Solana ends up being something much faster. It's got the backing of Sam Bankman-Fried, which is always a good thing. But there's a lot of Las Vegas.
Yeah. Some healthy speculation isn't too bad, right?
Yeah, and I'm also very, very interested in seeing policy come through on stablecoins because in many of my operating companies, we have large cash positions. We're making 22 basis points. If I can lend out a contract for 30 days at 4% on, USDC or whatever, there's many ways to go on stablecoins, but we really need policy there because my auditors and my compliance departments will not let me put on a significant position on stable.
We're going to a different economy, and we're going to be learning more about that as we go. But clearly, we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
This effort. And China has big plans for this. They intend to seed their digital yuan into the global environment by giving it away to visitors at next winter's Olympics. When they arrive at the airport, they're going to get yuan digital wallets. They're going to receive digital yuan. They're going to use it throughout their visits to Beijing, and then they're going to take it back to their home countries. They see this as a huge advantage. Why? Because who controls the underlying protocols, who controls the underlying standards of the future of money will control the future of money.
Powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, you know I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids' books. You know, I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate, not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis. Whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, we have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the 4th Industrial Revolution foundation is definitely here. Robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Drama Tam save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Drama Tam save New York. From COVID Stories 3. Part 3. King Joshua and Drama Tam goes to China.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.